Hi, I'm Scott Scheibel, and for many years I've been a huge fan of Halloween. And this year I kind of decided to make my own custom prop. We had a little bit of a budget to do something special. I didn't want to spend $250 on something that was not well made, that could fall apart after 1 year. I wanted something that I could bring out every year, I could add to, I could build a collection of something. And that's when I saw this video. I've always wanted to build something just like this ever since I was a kid. I even have old videos of me doing stuff with a dummy and a bed spring. Well, this year I have a little bit more money to do something a little bit crazy. I'm going to be building my own electric chair haunt. So building the chair was actually a little bit harder than I thought. I started with a really rough sketch of measurements of how high I wanted the chair, how wide, how long, and I'm kind of just winging it a little bit. Went online, looked at some average chair heights, but uh, if it looks bad, I can always just rebuild it next year. This is just going to be something fun for this year. Alright, so I have the foundation of the chair done. I thought it would be a lot easier, but it's kind of fun getting it finally up, seeing some progress done. Gonna try and see what I can do with the rest of this wood, and we'll see. Well, today I realized I'm not that good at woodworking, but I'm pretty happy at how things came out. The base was kind of easier than the cross beams and the supports for the bottom. I stood on this. I'm pretty heavy and it held me up without a problem, so I'm pretty happy with it. I'm trying to put the man together now, and things are a little bit different than what I've seen other people do online. A lot of people use PVC and construct the mannequin from that. I wanted something a little bit strong but a little bit more flexible, so what I'm using is a dolly wood. I don't know what the right word is, but it's like a 1 inch by 1 inch long wood like this. I'm gonna try and cut this and tape this around it to give it some girth. Probably cut it in half and then put it on. And then I'm going to link these together with eye bolts with connectors so that the limbs are kind of free to just kind of do what they want there. Gonna do that for the shoulders, the elbows, and then still haven't figured out what I'm going to do for the hands yet, but I don't know. I'll get there, and hopefully everything turns out cool. So I'm going to use this as my chest, this as, well, maybe I'll trim this down a little bit, this as my bicep, and then another one as my forearm. So this would be an arm linked together like this. I'm going to be using these eye hooks as the joints, and then these to be like the connectors between the eye hooks. So if I change anything or something breaks, I can easily just make a new piece, drill it, and then reconnect it. And it's not something that I have to go through a lot of work on. Probably not the most cheapest or economical option, but it's just what I decided to do. So now I got the basic top portion set up. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to put a strap around the arms just so they're not flaring about too much. But other than that, like it's working out pretty good. I'm really happy with it. Now I'm going to put the outfit on him, on the guy, and then mount it in, and then start stuffing, and hopefully things start looking pretty cool. Alright, so here it is. The arm. Notice that it doesn't give me a lot of momentum forward, but see if I can fix some of this so that the fat ends are out. I think if they're like this, it should give me the best mobility that way. Now the body, I was going to go get stuffing, but again, I'm cheap and lazy, and I'm going to use the tarp. I'm just going to shove it inside of them and see how it looks. If it doesn't look good, then I'll take it out, do something else, but whatever, right? Turned out pretty good. Let's see how it looks. So good news, I got all the pneumatic stuff that came in. I'm still waiting on the controller. Had some issues with getting it. Hopefully it gets resolved soon, but at least I can work on this right now. So I'm going to work on putting the cylinder on the prop to make him go up and down, trying to figure out placement and see where it would work best, and hopefully get him moving today. So I decided to make a little bit of a cut right here. This is where the end of the piston is going to connect to, right there in the back, and then it's going to slide in through this back plate to the cylinder. I think I'm going to mount it to the nose here, and hopefully that should look pretty cool. Guess we'll kind of figure it out. Alright, so I kind of had to change everything up, but I think that's kind of the process of figuring it out. I had to move the rod a little bit, put this bar in. I'm going to put something here, haven't figured out what yet, to attach to this piece. There's enough movement when he's going back and forth that it's going to be hard to mount perfectly flat like this. I'm going to end up breaking the piston, and I don't want to do that. So I don't know, just kind of still trying to play around with it, get it right. So I found two of these bad boys. Looks like they're just kind of homemade angle plates. you put them on there and it can go into the back wood. I think it's going to work really nice. I took one and flattened it out, so then I put it right here. I'm going to drill holes that go all the way through there, back to the other side, and connect to this piece, and then screw this into the back plate here, so it looks something like this. It's not going to be perfect, but I think it'll work. Alright, so I installed the cylinder. I think it's called the actuator. I installed that to the actual chair. Now I'm kind of trying to put all the quick disconnect sockets for the hosing for the pneumatic power. And this is what I have so far. So I have the actuator right here, which is then going to come out here, put up the hoses on connect to the cylinder here, which is then going to push and pull. Had to rework this a little bit. I don't know if you can even see it that well. So this is my final location for everything. Pretty happy with it. I kind of don't mind that it shakes a little bit. We'll see once it's out there, but just putting the final touches on the connections, and maybe you can cut the hose and put that on there as well. Alright, so I connected the A to this line because I want the first air to pull it back, and then I connected B to this line to push it out. So hopefully everything on here works. I still have to hook up the power. So I hope it goes well. So I decided to take a little bit of a break from the pneumatics. And now I'm going to be installing some light bulbs. They're LED. They kind of have that old-fashioned like light bulb look. I got some of these like normal little, I'm pretty sure they're outdoor rated light bulb sockets. I'm going to be mounting them to the back of this. I got some things that I'm thinking about how to do this. Simple seems to be the name of the game with this build. So we found some of this. I plan on screwing this in, wrapping it around real tight, and being able to really lock it in. Hopefully that should work. We'll see. If it doesn't, we'll come with another plan. So this is what it's starting to look like. I'm going to reshape the body because it looks kind of clunky right now. Probably put some padding in this upper arms a little bit more just to kind of fill them out. And then the lights will be either on the same circuit as the piston or on a different channel completely. Still trying to work it out, but I like it. Alright, so I have the two lights wired up just to like a plug, testing them out. They work kind of fine. I was playing with the switch to kind of see what it would look like to be hooked up to something quick, and they're pretty responsive. So I don't know. Still debating on if I'm gonna loop them together with the piston and free up a channel on my controller, or put them on a separate controller. Seeing the response time, I think I'm gonna put them on the same channel and then free up that other channel to control something else. But I don't know. I kind of like it so far. All right. Well, got a lot done. Get all the pneumatics ran to a air compressor. I need to trim the hose going into the air compressor. It's leaking a little bit and it's starting to piss me off. Good news and bad news. Works great. Bad news is head won't stay on. So the next challenge is going to be how to make the head stand on. But let me show you what I got so far, and Hopefully you guys think it looks cool too. So since I don't have the controller right now, I'm just using the power outlet, flicking it back and forth to kind of get the effect. Another thing that's going on is it moves too much and it starts shaking the chair, so I got to kind of hold it down, but good problems to have. Also, something I'm seeing happening, which it's holding up, so I'm not too worried about it, but this piece is getting a lot of play. I'll probably have to reinforce it coming down here, doing like a cross beam just to keep it sturdy, but I'm pretty pumped that that's a problem. Alright, so I just set my controller to just do some sporadic movements just to kind of see what it would look like with timing. I'm pretty happy with it. If I hit this button, it's just going to play. I'll get one angle from the back here, and then one angle from the front. This thing shakes like crazy, so I really have to hold it down. This is the main switch. It's 4. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but it's only 12 volts, so I'm not too worried about it. This is going to power the light in the tap button, so when they tap it, it's going to activate, and then this is the actual switch. So I put red and black for power, and then green and yellow for the switch. I think this is telephone wire. I use it a lot in my LED lights that I build. Works pretty good. This is a 2-way power cord. I'm not using it anymore because it doesn't have a ground. I ran it to the switch that I made. I took a switch, put some washers on it, took it to a copper pipe, wrapped it in tape so it feels good, and then that's the cancellation switch right there. So if things get hot and heavy, I need to stop the show. That should kill it. Alright, so I did a lot of work the last couple days. Didn't get a chance to record, but I got the controller set up. I got all the cables ran except for a couple. I strapped the hood to them, which was a big pain in the ass because it kept flopping off. This is functional, but a little bit of show. I might weather this to make it a little bit more tan, don't know yet. Strapped this down. Also got the button that actuates it all. This also glows red. Got both the lights to work. So this is the main that's going to be on all the time. And then this is going to be when he's getting electrocuted. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing for audio. Nothing really seems to be working, but hopefully we have something soon. So, been struggling with shipping crates. I have a saw or a jigsaw with a wood and metal blade on it. Hopefully that will get the boards to separate and I can start building up this fence. It's the day before Halloween. Been in crunch time the last couple days. Didn't record as much as I wanted to, but got a lot done. Got the fencing done with the switch that activates. Took off the pneumatic just because I just don't need to see it rocking back and forth. But reprogrammed it a little bit too. Also set up the lights so then when the scene's going, the strobe, and then when it's not, there's an ambient light. Ran some of the conduit, metal conduit housing The only thing left to do is really put some shoes in this guy and just refluff them, and we should be good to go. Alright, so it's my final video for tonight, the night before Halloween, and I got everything wrapped up, ready to roll on this guy, so I just got to roll him out, get him stationed, and start setting up. The last thing I did was build a light stand for the lights. So right now I have a red and a blue, might switch it out, I don't know, and also have a strobe light up there. Have all 3 wires coming down. I can hook them up to one of 2 channels. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do the strobe on one channel and then the 2 lights on the other. Might combine the lights to give it a different effect. I'm going to play around with it a little bit and figure out what I'm going to do. But I really like the stand. Super secure, move the lights around. Last minute little thing, but I'm happy how it turned out. Well, hopefully everything turns out good, and we'll see you tomorrow. So I did the recording through Adobe Premiere. I know it's probably not the best, but it's what I'm more comfortable with, and this kind of made sense to me. I did all the audio recording for the ambient noise, and then also the screams and all that, and just threw all the files together, and turned out pretty good. Once I was done recording the audio file, I used the program that came with the controller. I put in the sound file, and then it allowed me to control each channel when it was on and off. The top channel shows yellow. This is going to be the pneumatics and the lights, and then the red is going to be the lights. So when you see red, that's when the strobe was on. When you see white, that means the ambient lights were on. Pretty easy program. I was able to do it pretty quickly. So the time has come to finally bring him outside and start setting him up.
Press the red button.